Hi, everyone. I'm Jaemin. Welcome back to the second half. Thank you for being here. Okay. Yeah. In America alone, over 7 million people have some form of visual impairment, and the number is growing. We're living in the post-text era. Then, how do blind and visually impaired BLV users read digital images? First, turn on the screen reader on your device to enable audio feedback.
Voiceover on.
Thank you for enthusiasm. Then glide your finger across the screen. Then the screen reader will read the element that you're on.
The New York Times verified. Bright blue crayon marks were found on a statue that is more than 2 centuries old at a conservation site in England.
What happens when you tap an image? If you tap the image, the screen reader will announce the alt text added to the image. Alternative text, commonly referred to as alt text, is a brief text description that explains what the image depicts and why it is relevant to the surrounding content.
Image, bright blue marks scrawled across the face of a statue.
When you upload an image on the web, you're expected to add alt text to the image for screen reader users. So kudos, New York Times. However, a Carnegie Mellon research showed that 99% of tweets with images do not include alt text. What if there is no alt text added to an image? This is what BLV users will face.
Image.
Screen readers can detect the image, but they will not know what's in it. Here's 3 main reasons why we often don't add alt text. There are awareness issues, time constraint, and lack of knowledge on how to write good alt text. Last month, OpenAI announced ChatGPT that can read photos and explain what's in them. Can ChatGPT write alt text for all of us? Through the research, I discovered why we need to include humans in the loop for alt text writing. Alt text requires knowledge of the context that only the author would know, as well as the emotion of the image. Take a look at the image. There is a secret sauce in the image, and which AI cannot easily recognize. There are actually 3 people. They're celebrating the baby bump. This is Ghost Altwriter. Ghost Altwriter is an alt-text authoring tool that combines AI and human collaboration. Here's how it works. Authors provide essential information about the photo, such as the tone and the name of individuals in the photo, then secret sauce, the reason why the photo is significant to the author. In this image, it's the baby bump. AI will generate additional descriptive details while keeping it concise. By following just a simple steps, content creators can easily add rich and highly contextual alt text. To guide my thesis, I consulted 3 groups: end users of assistive technology, creators of technology, and educators who bridge the gap between BLV and sighted communities. Through immersive research, I gained a better understanding of the current state of assistive technology and could identify areas for improvement. And books and papers served as my guiding star, helping me set the direction for my thesis. So let's move on to my next project. Technological advances in smartphone cameras have significantly impacted the digital image we see every day. This year alone, more than 93% of all photos taken annually will be captured on smartphone cameras. However, despite this big leap, how we utilize image description for image accessibility has remained stagnant since alt text was introduced in 1995. This image is rich in detail. with so many things going on, with multiple subjects, multiple layers. How can we tell the story of this image to blind and low vision users without leaving out important details? How might we give more controls to users, make it interactive, let them navigate, and based on their personal interest? The introduction of relative depth map in image analysis has potential to change the way we understand and interact with images. It effectively separates different layers and elements in the image. The jogger, the couple with the dog, and the park can be easily isolated from each other. Here's my second project, dimensional alt text. It enables users to navigate image descriptions through three-dimensional layers, the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. Before we move on to the next slide, I'd like to ask you to close your eyes and pay close attention to the alt text I'm going to play. Try to visualize image in your mind based on the description. So please close your eyes.
Vinny Jr. celebrating his goal for the Brazilian team along with Neymar at Maracana Stadium.
There are,
Vinny Jr.
Now you can open your eyes. There are millions of ways to celebrate a goal, from dancing in a row to hugging each other. Which scene did you imagine? But here's the image. Does it match the scene that you imagined? The current alt text practice encourages author to describe concisely under 140 characters. But in dimensional alt text, each dimensional field provides ample room for descriptive detail of the layer. And screen reader users can navigate through dimensional layers. And I'm going to show you how I conducted user testing online. The speed of screen reader might sound too fast, but that is the preferred speed for many screen reader users who want to quickly skim through content.
B2. Visit Vinny Jr. celebrating his goals for the Brazilian team along with Neymar at Maracanã Stadium. Tap the dimension thumbnails below for more detail. Foreground. Neymar jumped on the back of Vinny Jr., both screaming in celebration. Around the corner flag. Image. Middle ground. Gabriel Jesus and Lucas Paqueta running toward the two to celebrate. Image. Background. Low angle view of Maracanã Stadium lit up at night. Image.
Oh, that's so cool. I don't know anything about sports or who these people are, but I mean, just like picture that is so amazing.
Yeah, you can see I was not ready for the reaction. Thank you. The moment was truly rewarding as a designer. The actual user validated your hypothesis in the kindest words. Here's our key findings from the user testing. Mainly, participants love dimensional alt text because it provides more context about the background of images. I wrote a small paper out of the project with my co-author, Hee-jae, and it was accepted to Kai 23 UX conference. Oh, thank you very much. We had an opportunity to present our work in Hamburg last week and received valuable feedback and insights from researchers. And thanks to those feedback, I'm planning to write a full paper on dimensional alt text. So now I want to shift your focus from on-screen experience to physical spaces. And the spaces are restaurants. QR code menus are hygienic, but also accessible. But it has a big pain point in this scenario. According to a survey, 60% of customers with visual impairments find it challenging to use QR code independently, mainly due to difficulty in locating them. A consistent standard for location is much needed, since QR code is always found on the most random surfaces. So I designed Beacon, a table mood light with QR code sign for BLB customers at restaurants. It has 3 key features. It's a combination of lighting and QR code sign. It makes things easy scanning in all lighting conditions, including dimly lit environments. And affordability was the key to accessibility, to create consistent standards for QR code location. So The beacon's unique design features two-way lighting system that creates beautiful reflection on the table, while the top light functions as a backlight for the QR code. Sorry for that. Through prototyping, I discovered that a backlit QR code is much easier to scan without using the flashlight on your phone. I minimized the number of parts needed to keep the cost per unit down. The form study focuses on both visual and tactile aspects. I ensured that beacon was easy on the eyes, but also on the hands. The concave surface on the top invites touch. I also added a braille indicator to help BLV users accurately locate the exact scanning point. During FGI interview, I identified another key pain point related to interacting with servers, which often relies on eye contact. To address this, I incorporated a subtle signaling feature in my design. And it's inspired by the bat signal, of course. By flipping over the light, customer can signal servers when they need assistance. So simply flip it over to signal. Here's a point of view of the server. The direction of the light also makes it easy to distinguish between the two modes. So there, I have reimagined digital accessibility through 3 projects under the theme of Beyond the Visual. Thank you for listening to my journey. I want to thank my family. I want to thank POD faculty for broadening my horizons. And last but not least, I want to thank my lovely, beautiful cohort who has been my emotional support for this wonderful sleep-deprived journey. Thank you so much.
Again, it's so great to not see the work for 3 months and see how it blossoms. Super exciting.
Thank you so much.
I'm curious about the collaboration with your friend, the developer. And if you can tell me a little bit more about where this is going for you two.
So I think, I worked on the small paper with my friend who's a developer working at a big company, but also he's my high school friend. So it's always really nice to work with your friends because you can ping him every time. So there's no such thing as office hour. So for him, it's pretty much like toxic work environment, I guess. But I really enjoyed it. And he always redirect when I start to talk nonsense in terms of technology. So it was really enjoyable work experience with your best friend.
Of course.
You looked at poetry and art, I think, in your process, and I'm curious how that affected your thinking.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the project, I actually went to Metropolitan Museum. To take this accessibility-related class, which is taught by Paula Lawton. So she teaches you how to draw without division. It's a beautiful class. I want you to. It's a big rack from me. But after that, I just look around what's out there. And the dimensional alt text and the dimensional layers are inspired by photography. It's a photography terms because you cannot design things out of nowhere. So I have to have some kind of very familiar foundation. So yeah, I mean, in that sense, art and poetry, photography, everything inspired the project.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Excellent work.
Congrats.